Hey guys, Ken97 Stow 171 back with another ATS video. We just concluded one. Needed to take a short break. We are still in the Argosy. Already have our next load. You can see here it's just a little yard truck, 29,000 pounds. It's interesting, that 29,000 pounds, there's no way that yard truck weighs that much. Which makes me wonder whether that weight is the truck, is the cargo and the trailer together. Don't know. It's going from Junction, Texas, where we just picked up that load. In the last stream, we ended with picking it up. And we're going to Oklahoma City. It pays $41,000, almost $42,000, and it's a light load. And it's only about 400 miles, so it was by far the best. It was like double the price, double the pay of any other load that was available. So we're going to get to it. We're already refueled. We weighed in the last video. So we're up to $90,000, which is good because we were at, I think, 78 when we started our last load. We're not going to rest because this is a urgent delivery. I did make some changes to my stream deck here. I found the button that does sequential and automatic, which I've been asking for a while. So I can hit that button. I'd rather it be on the steering wheel, but that's as good as I can do. Sequential button, which will take us from where we use the paddle shifters to go up and down versus having it shift automatic, which would be nice. There's no indicator on the screen, unfortunately, to tell you which one it is, but I did test it in the parking lot just now. It does work. This engine brake increase and decrease also seems to work. It just goes up 1, 2, which I think it was on 2 anyway. So, I don't know. I don't know whether that was really worth 2 separate buttons to do that or not. But, anyway, I did it. And the information that was there wasn't that important. It was like CPU load and CPU temperature, which doesn't really matter. And quite frankly, none of these indicators matter. I just did it to fill up the stream deck. At some point, I'll probably turn these into other controls that I find that'll be useful. All right, let's okay, see, we're not... See, if I go up, we're just neutral, reverse, that's all we can do. But if I hit this button, now I can actually shift through the gears. And if I switch it back, then it... It'd be really cool if that shifter would move when you shifted. We'll turn off the engine brake for now. We did, I think. I just missed it. Let's reset that. Probably not going to get great fuel economy because we got this big-ass yard truck. Oh, shit. Was the road the other way? It was. Okay. Oh, maybe it's out this way. It is out this way. I thought it was. Okay. So that sequential and automatic changer will be handy, because there are some times where you just know you could go up a gear, but it's just the damn thing doesn't want to. Once you're on the highway, you might want to leave it in manual. But for driving around town, I'd want it in automatic. You know, and I've said this before. I've driven a real truck. You know, I know what the shifter feels like. There aren't any shifters that exist in simulators that are going to feel like a real shifter to me. So, it wouldn't really add to the realism also with my current setup. I don't really have a place to put the shifter. So I'm stuck with paddle shifters, which aren't realistic either. But they are convenient for in the game when you want to, like, please upshift. Some of the engines could easily upshift, and they just... Did you hear that? The fuck is that? Is that the car next to us? Like this... What is that noise? Is it the noise of the traffic going over the bridge? I don't know. That's weird. I have no idea what that was. And I'm just going to go light throttle and try to maybe be fuel efficient on this trip since it's a lighter load. But I don't imagine with a flat deck like that that it's actually going to be that efficient. Depending on the roads we take, if it's all back roads. Really strange to me that this road is 75 miles an hour, but it is. Yeah, but then it says like 60 miles an hour around this curve. This is one of my favorite engines ever. See, like right now, it could upshift. And I can force it to. That'll be a nice feature. I'm pretty sure that that function was not in the game previously. Maybe they were listening to my complaining about it and added it. Never know. Something I've been bitching about for a long time. Well, the other way they could have done it was just have the paddles override. You know, have it shift automatically. But if I tap upshift button, that it upshifts and overrides the automatic. I actually saw a Argosy. When I was on vacation in Florida. Actually saw an Argosy. I can't even tell you the last time I saw one. The weird thing is, it had a stretched wheelbase. He was a flatbed hauler, I think, and had a stretched wheelbase on it, which was kind of a unique. Kind of defeats the purpose of the cab over, honestly. They need the angle, the stretch, so they can go more than 90 degrees and not, you know, because they have to navigate in construction zones and stuff sometimes. But it does kind of... I was going to say it kind of negates the purpose of the cab over, but I guess it would... A stretched long nose would be even longer, so I don't know. Kind of looking forward to getting into these vintage trucks. We drove all the new trucks, although the Peterbilt 389 and the W900 are not technically there. The W900 is still for sale, at least till last year. The 389, I think they still sell. But, you know, all the other trucks that we're going to drive here soon are long ago discontinued. I don't know what order we're going to do them in. Might do them in favorite to least favorite. So, probably do the International 9800 next. And then the FLB cab over. And then go into the FLD, which is the long nose Freightliner. That's also a really nice truck. It's very well liked. Similar to a lot of other Freightliners, you know, a little bit on the rattly side, you know, a little cheaper interior and rattly components, but structurally and functionally, pretty amazing. Wonder wonder if the engine brake sounds any different.
Keep right, and then turn right. Turn right.
And then that truck stops in the middle of a fucking intersection.
Go straight on.
If you shift a little sooner, it won't skip shift. 7L. 7 high.
Keep left.
If you rev it up more and you tap the upshift, it'll skip gears, which is what you would do.
Keep left.
Yeah, this engine only has, you know, an engine brake setting 1 and 2. Yep. Be interesting to try, like, Cummins ISX or something and see if it has 6
Go straight on.
settings.
Go straight on.
What a lovely engine. I come back to it so much. You know, and the reality is, in real life, real trucking, 500 horsepower is more than enough to do pretty much any job you're going to want to do. I mean, dude, the Freightliner I drove with a 12.7, they had it turned all the way down. It was like 350 horse or 380, something like that. You know, and it hold freight just fine. Is it slow going up a hill? Yeah. Is a 600 horsepower truck slow going up a hill relative to a car? Yeah. So, you know, I just I got in that Freightliner Century. I ran heavy, you know, max, you know, for 45,000 in the box, put me pretty much right at 80K. See, I feel like we could lower the revs even more, but we're actually okay. Actually, we're going a little fast. We're going over the speed. That's weird. It was 75 on the back road there, and now it's 70. That's kind of bizarre.
Keep left.
Guess we're probably gonna. I think we're gonna end up staying on. Yeah. We're going to be on state routes pretty much all the way to Oaks. It's weird. We're like nearly halfway done with the trip already. Or a third, you know. So, yeah, this was a good trip.
Keep left.
I wouldn't mind maybe dropping the engine, the differential ratio, go a little taller. I think we could lower the revs just a little bit at 75 miles an hour. Still feel like that window's up open. That's not.
Go straight on.
Coming into a town. Let's turn off the engine brake. We don't really need it. Beautiful turbo noise. Actually, one of the very first videos I ever posted to YouTube. You'd have to go all the way back. I threw my cell phone, my Motorola Droid, the first one, the very first Verizon phone, the very first Android Verizon phone, 4G phone. I think it may have been the first Android phone. It was the very first Moto Droid, the one that had the keyboard slide out. I still have it, and it still works. That's crazy, isn't it? No, it couldn't have been that. I don't know. Because I was working for Schneider before that. I don't remember. Anyway, if you go back to my I guess one of my very first YouTube videos, I stuck a phone up on the windshield and angled it so you could see the hood, and I ran through the gears down an on-ramp, pulling an empty trailer. And you can hear the turbo whistle pretty good. It's...
Go straight on.
In real life, that turbo whistle can get annoying. It's a lot of high-frequency noise, you know? But the wind noise and road noise and rattles in that truck, you know, often overwhelmed any
Go straight on.
other consideration. Tell you, I would recommend for truck drivers, anybody that drives a truck that's a little on the noisy side, they make earplugs.
Go straight on.
Eargasm, I think, is one, and there's another one too where Freaking Reviews did a video. And check out his YouTube channel. He does reviews on products. He's a really good guy. I think he's in Vegas. Why did you do that, dude? Let's get in the left lane and then not pass the guy like a dumb shit. You could probably wear those in a semi because they don't actually block your hearing completely. They are designed to reduce the volume and lower the high frequency noise, which can cause tinnitus. So you might, anybody in a loud environment where you can't just put earplugs in because it's illegal or unsafe, those are an option where you could put them in, and because they don't actually block the sound, they're probably legal. I don't know how they do it. They got a hole in the middle of them, so it just like reduces the. I don't know how it works. They're not cheap. One of them was like 45 or 50 bucks. The other one was a little bit cheaper, and the more expensive one, I remember he said worked better. And they're slightly different styles. One is like a foamy. Well, I don't know. You'll have to look at the review. But I wouldn't mind getting a pair even for when I road trip, because I often would prefer, you know, not legal, but what I used to do is just run headphones in my ears. They act as earplugs, and then I could play my music or podcast or not podcast, but you know, audiobook or whatever at a lower volume, and they would block out the surrounding noise. So I did that a lot when I had a convertible, when I wanted to drive on the highway with the top down. Put in a pair of earplugs, and you block the wind rushing noise and the road noise, and save your ears. That shit can make you deaf. A constant high frequency white noise, wind rushing noise can make you deaf.
Go straight on.
The fuck are you doing, dude? Now he's gonna fucking go. This thing shifts really nice. Realistically, too. Keep left, probably.
Keep left.
Watch your speed over these things. High on ramps like this are always a little nerve-wracking in a semi. There used to be one in Laredo that was narrower than this, and it didn't even have the railings like that. It just had some concrete walls. Oh my god, it's like 300 feet in the air, one lane, and you're looking over the top of it like, oh god. We're up to 111,000 already from
Keep right.
When we finish our delivery. We might try to do a sleep break. We're only 150 miles away. This didn't take long at all, actually. We're only 23 minutes into the journey, into the video, and we're more than halfway.
Keep left.
Let's see how we're doing. Fuel economy. 7 miles per gallon. Not bad. When I had my Freightliner Century, I averaged pretty solid 8 miles per gallon in that truck. It was always between 6 and 8, but it was generally closer to 8. It was really efficient. You know, no DPF, no EGR, no EGR cooler. The other thing that I liked about that truck, in cold climate, why? Oh, because we're going to go into a fucking... It's like, why is the speed dropping?
Keep right.
The fuel system on that truck recirculated the fuel through the engine and then back to the tank. And I think a lot of semis do that. I don't know if the new ones do with common rail, because that truck was definitely not common rail. I'm pretty sure it used cam actuated mechanical injectors that were electronically controlled though. They did have electronic controls on the injector on how much fuel was sprayed, but the timing and pressure was generated in the head at the camshaft, pushing on the injector mechanically. So the fuel that's not used is returned back to the tank. It has to go somewhere. Whatever fuel is not demanded has to go back out. So the cool thing was, in the wintertime, when you idled, and that truck did not have a Webasto heater in it, you when you'd come out in the morning, the fuel tanks were significantly warm. To the touch. They were definitely, 85 to 100 degrees temperature. So the cool thing is, when you're sitting there idling and it gets super cold, I never had any problems with that truck having any kind of fuel gelling problems or starting in the morning, because, well, first of all, it was still warm. But the fuel stayed really nice and hot in the tanks while it was idling. I mean, I guess it, you got to have a return line, and it could theoretically, it's, an extra place where there could be a leak. But, you can install high quality braided fuel lines that are very abrasive resistant, and that I always thought that was just a nice side benefit. And we're going to immediately slow back down for the toll here.
Keep left.
Yeah, this engine, it doesn't have a, compound or variable vane turbo or anything, just regular turbo on the side of it. The gauge down there with the turbo, when it goes up, it's showing like 100 psi. That's not right. It's not 100 psi. I don't know what that... Again, it's a mod truck, and some of that stuff's not right. Because there's a similar gauge in the top right with a similar logo. I think it's supposed to be air... I think that's supposed to be... brake air pressure.
Exit right.
Or how far it'll rev.
Keep left.
You hear the cooling fan just kick on. So a little bit over 2100.
Keep left.
think that's right, if I remember correctly.
Keep right.
That's
and
not the
then
way.
Exit right.
That's not the way you save fuel.
Turn right. Go straight on.
Yeah, even when you're off the throttle completely, the turbo still makes a bit of noise.
Keep right, and then turn right. Turn right.
Now, that's a tricky. We drove over the curb, but having that car pull up right at the last minute was not ideal. And if I had, you know, a real field of view, you would have seen that car come and would have prepared better.
Get ready to turn right.
Oh, guys, that only took us 30 minutes.
Turn right.
Those are the kind of loads you like. The ones that were pretty easy. We didn't have to go through too many towns. And they paid really well. Let's see what they want us to do. There's no... Alright. Might be able to do this one, other way. There's nothing over there. Should have pulled up more. We still have room on the right-hand curb. I can see the mirror there. It idles back really slow, which is nice. Just rolling back at a very slow clip. Now this place has those yellow things. We're going to need to do a pull-up. I should have pulled more that way when I did this. There's nothing over here to hit, but we are going to have to make an adjustment. So what you do is you go all the way to the left. And then you go all the way. You really ought to stop, which is bad for the tires, by the way. Dry scrubbing them like that, but... And then go back to the right. And then straighten it up. And the curb is a little close here. But because we're short, that should be enough. I really like when there's a spot that I can use mirrors instead of using the external view, which is sort of cheating. Although I tell you, I've seen... we're up against the dock. Let's see how we did. Pretty good. Cab's a little off kilter, but that's alright. Alright. Don't think we'll have enough to get to the next level, but... Nope. Thought we should on the next one. Boy, there were some bonuses there. I should have looked at that a little more carefully. So we're back up to $155,000. Let's see if there's any place to sleep right here. Actually, there's a garage that we own. How's that possible? Isn't green? No, green is for sale. But there is a place to sleep there. Any place else? So let's see if it'll let us. It may or may not let us sleep there since we don't own it. I don't know. It shows as available sleep. And I'll show you that process, which I've shown you before. So we're going to come out of here and turn left, and it's right in front of us. What that scared me was they pulled away and the trailer stayed where it was supposed to be. While we're here, let's just look and see if there's any job offers. I got to get going too because I have to do something. See, that's 465 miles. It only pays 19. We just made 41 with less distance. So, okay. No, we're still rolling forward. Not really what you want to do. We'll see if it actually lets us sleep here. I don't know. And then I'll end the stream. And like I said, I've got an appointment I got to get to. Boy, this is a really large... I think they've changed these. These used to be really tiny. Let's see if it'll let me park here and sleep. I don't know. It didn't pull up with the, it didn't pull up with the sleep area. Looks like it's inside the building, so it might not let us. It'll pop up with a message saying, turn off your engine to sleep if you want to. Yeah, they've made these garages a lot bigger, which is nice. Let's see if it... I don't think it'll trigger the door since we don't open it. We don't own it. No? Okay, well that's an interesting learning experience. Even though it says it's a sleep area, you can't use it unless you own it. Well, there's a sleep zone right there. So we'll just turn right and go do it right there. And we might as well refuel the truck while we're there. Oh, yeah. Let's see what the fuel economy was. 7 miles per gallon. Oh. One time I was driving along bobtail like this, and little motorcycle pulled up next to me. I think it was like a Ninja 250. It wasn't anything real powerful. And he kind of blipped the throttle. I think I honked at him or something, or he asked me to honk, you know, blow the air horn. And I took off and ran through each of the gears and revved it way up, the turbo going, and he gave me a big-ass thumbs up, which was cool. It was fun roaming through the gears, you know. Yeah. Trucks. Probably not the truck entrance. It's not. Well, gee it. We gotta exit and go back in over here. Even at, like, idle. Where the hell is the entrance? Is it over here? Oh, shit. I didn't see the yellow things until the last minute. I freaking hate those things, man. They are at the wrong angle or the wrong time of day. They're almost invisible. When you get like an oblique angle to them, they kind of disappear. The entrance must be down over here. That's so annoying. It doesn't damage your truck when you hit those, but... Yeah, by the way, you would never drive this fast, bobtail or otherwise. Yeah, the truck entrance is going to be back here. I'm sure the sign says truck entrance, but that gigantic A-pillar kind of blocks almost everything you can see. And let's go ahead and fill up the fuel tanks, and then we'll sleep. We'll take a look at how much we earn. It's not... And I passed it. Oh, no. Oh, no, I didn't. I did pass it. There we go. I wish it would just right there would tell you what you just spent. Instead of it just going away. Let's see what the truck weighs. Um, bobtail. And yes, you can go this way. This would not work in real life, but it does work in the game. Let's put it in neutral. I don't think it matters. 35,900. That is way over. 35,900 ought to be what a truck and trailer weigh together. So it's just way off. It's just unfortunate. I mean, I can't complain. Somebody built this. Somebody built them a mod. You know, I'm very glad that people do that. But there must be some kind of weird issue with when they get imported, because every single mod truck is 3,000 to 5,000 pounds overweight, sometimes more. This one in particular is very heavy. All right. So, we're at $155,000, which is nice that you can see that right there. It used to be that you had to go back to here to see your totals. So I kind of like that they added your bank total there. But let's sleep. We should be able to sleep 3 times. So it was 155,000. Added. It said added 22,000. That's nice. That's different. And then it tells you who did it. The little scrolling thing at the top. Added 12,000. Oh, look at the fog. That's new. I've never seen fog before. I don't know whether that's part of the brutal weather thing. Does the rain look any different? Let's see how the wipers work. That's one bad thing about the Argosy too. The wipers don't go far enough to the edge, and they miss that entire middle section there. Like, that wiper could be like 4 inches wider. Which I guess you could do yourself. Can't tell if the rain looks any different or not, because that's part of that brutal weather mod. On the side of the window, though. Wonder what happens if you put the window down. It does change where the window went down. One thing I noticed is that the mirrors don't get water on them, which would be, in the game, would be pretty annoying. By the way you handle that in real life is you run the heated mirrors. The heated mirrors get hot enough that they mostly continually evaporate the moisture. Even just rain. It doesn't have to be ice or snow. So let's see. I didn't look at what the total was. Damn it. It'll tell us. Added 5,000. So we didn't add that much. The first sleep really added it. So we're back up to 200,000. So we'll do a few more trips, and it won't take us that long to get to a point where we can buy another truck. And now we have a place to put them too. And we're going to keep these. Like I said, we're not going to hand these off to employees. And then at some point, what I probably will do is buy replacement trucks for all my other drivers, because whichever truck I liked the best and is the most affordable is probably the International LT, or whichever one's the cheapest. I'll have to look at that, because we don't have truck manager. Yeah, these are all trucks that we drove. There were 2 International LTs. One was that one. That was the very first truck we started with. And then we did that one. We built a second one. And then we did the T680. We can look see which one has the most miles on it. Yeah, T680 was next. And then we did the Cascadia. And then we drove the Volvo. And then we got the that one. You know, the Volvo was pretty affordable to purchase also. We could look at that real quick too. I think I noticed that the Volvo was actually pretty affordable. So what I'm thinking I'll do is the Argosy, when we get through all of the mod trucks, we'll put those in our garage. We'll then have to buy another garage. Um, and then I will slowly replace each one of these, except for maybe the Volvo since it's already there. Um, I might replace each of these that we built together and drove together and put those in a new garage as our personal trucks plus our mod trucks. And then we'll have basically every truck in the game. And we'll just decide which of these trucks do we want to use as our company driver trucks. And um, I think the Volvo was pretty affordable. Let's see here. And Volvo. Where the hell's the dealer? Let's see here. VNL 300. We'll just look at the base because we'll add a few things, but not too much. So 136,000. 136,000. 122. So the Cascadia might be a better choice. My fleet, yeah, 156 was the one that we built. That's the one we built together. Let's take a look at the Volvo again as 156. My fleet, 158, so pretty close. And then the Kenworth, 163. So they're all reasonably close together. You know, probably doesn't matter. And then we'll take a look at the International. 135. So yeah, they're all pretty close. So, you know, just pick whichever one. It doesn't really actually matter. The cheapest one is what you ought to pick. So I think it was the Cascadia. I think it was 122. Um, no, 156. So yeah, the International I think is the cheapest, and we would just replace all of the company trucks. You just swap them, and then put all the trucks that we built in another garage. So, and then we have all of the trucks that we built together. You know, that we could go drive at any time. We can also modify them, make them into sleeper berth trucks or whatever we want to do. All right, guys, that'll be it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We had a little nice drive. The Argosy handled well. I do love that 12.7 Detroit. Might end up putting that same combination in some of the other mod trucks because it would have been available in pretty much everything. You know. Let me show you the other trucks real quick, which we didn't do. Freightliner. We'll just do the mod dealer mods. So we already looked at the Argosy. This is the FL. What the hell was it? FLB? I just totally forgot. FLB, yeah. There are several. There's no difference other than you can get it with a window over here in the door or not. That's it. There's no choices. There are a lot of this is a 4.2, a 4x2. You can do that. A little bigger tank. You see the difference in tanks there. And then some big, that's probably what we would do. Just give you a little preview of the dash. See, it's sort of similar to the Argosy, although not colored. There's not as many colors here in that, but it's the same font, so it's pretty nice. Big hump right there. You know, pretty good visibility. Even in your peripheral vision looking straight, you can still see the mirrors right there. This one's a little harder because this thing's in the way. So, see, for some reason, the Argosy shows up in about all of them. And then let's look at the K100. We'll take a look at the super nice one. Super cool truck. Definitely an older design. Um, there's the standard, and then the VIT, which has got the raised roof. Um, so you can get it. There's two different ones here: 6x4, which is a shorter wheelbase, and that's a longer wheelbase. That gives you bigger tanks, I think, and then that gives you a drop axle. And on the interior, it's definitely really old school. Pretty legible, though. The gauges are easy to read. Big ass hump right there that you got to crawl over to get in the bunk back there. You know, pretty good mirrors. These are the vents. Like it doesn't even have vents in the dash. It's really old school. And then international. We'll take a look at the 9800 real quick. Probably shouldn't show these to you, but I already did. So it's just a dorky looking truck with the stupid square headlights. Although these would be easy to mod. These are 8x4, 7x4, 8. They're the same as on like XJ Jeeps and YJ Jeeps. I have a set of really nice LED aftermarket projectors that go in here, which would be a great upgrade if you had an old truck like this. Upgrade these headlights from these 7-inch square sealed beams. But look at the wheel. The wheel's like direct is actually behind the driver a little bit. Big tanks. There's the high roof, which is this one, or you can do the flat roof, which this is part of there's a setting for that. Air intakes back here. Kind of surprised it doesn't go up and over the top. But the wheelbase is so short. And then there's 6x4, which is what we have. And you can go to a single. 6x2 just means that it's 6 wheels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but only 2 are driven, and the 6x4 has both. On the interior, this one I do not love. I don't love the dash as much. Half the gauges are blocked by the steering wheel. It's not terrible. But look at this, though. Completely flat floor. Look at the interior of this. How much room there is. It's as big as a modern long nose sleeper. You could put a fridge here. There'd be cabinets or something. There's an upper bunk there. The space in this truck is really good. This would be an amazing truck. The mirrors are a little close, but the visibility is good. There's a little mirror over here. You can get a mirror over here too. But yeah, I mean, this would have been a great truck to drive as a daily because it's got huge amounts of room in it for as small as it is. There's not a lot of customizations with this truck though, unfortunately. Like, I mean, I'm sure you can do paint. You can paint the tanks, aluminum paint. That's about it. But like having a skirt right here would be, you could really make this truck more efficient. But there's just not a lot of choices on modding it, unfortunately. And then what was the other one? On Mac, this is a fun truck. I really like this one. It drives really cool. I can't get the sleeper version to work. Not many choices. There's either double lamps or single lamps. That's it. There are a bunch of modifications you can do. There's a bunch of lights and bull bars and shit you can put on the front of this. And then there's several different fuel tank options. This is the short wheelbase 140 gallons, and then if you go all the way to that, you really stretch the wheelbase. So you can do that too, that's probably the good balance between the two, short wheelbase and big tanks. In reality, you'd probably do that because this would be a short haul truck without the sleeper. Um, but the interior is really cool. Pretty easy to read the gauges, easy to see around you. You can get an air cleaner over here and over here if you want, or no air cleaners. Of course, there's no sleeper, so there's no choice for anything. There's a mod I added it in there. Like there's a mod for these mirrors suck. Like you got to turn like all the way over here to see the mirrors. It's really bad. In real life, maybe it wouldn't make any difference. But there's a mod for there's painted, but then there's also oh, why is it not in here? Maybe I didn't add the mod. There's a mod for forward mirrors, which mounts them like up here. They're much farther forward. That makes it a lot better. Um, so, and the one mod that I didn't put in here was the no, let me actually go back and go back to the title screen. I'll put the mod in there, see if it works. I didn't actually add it. You guys can see how this works too. So these are your active mods over here, and they're green if they're over there. This is a cool truck, this Dodge 800. That's a pretty neat truck too. It's basically a more than a heavy duty dually. Um, has some Cummins engines in it. It'll pull freight, but it's um, I've used these two. They're not that great on the interior. This one was a logging truck. Pacific was designed for hauling logs in the northwest area. Um, let's see here. Where is it? Here it is. So we will put that over there, and we'll put the skin pack too. I don't remember what's in there. Here's this old school Mac R700. This has the sleeper, but if I add this to the truck, I've never figured out how to add the sleeper berth. It doesn't really show up. And then was there another one? This is a Peterbilt 350. This is from the 1940s. Pretty cool truck. It has a feature in it that I really like. At the top of the window, the low air gauge is it's a little arm. Um, there's a little lever, and as the air pressure drops, it folds down, and it says air, and it's like literally right in front of your face when it's down. So you can't miss that your air pressure is leaking, and it slowly comes out. So you can tell if you've got a slow leak, and then if it's all the way down, I think it sets off an alarm too. Really cool feature. They ought to bring that back because that is a super useful. There used to be a Scania mod where you could drive a Scania, but that doesn't work anymore. And then there's this Peterbilt 351. I thought it was the same as this one. Peterbilt 350. The 351's a little newer. I think it's from the 1950s. There's that Mac R series. I think that was the only other. And there's the K100. That was the only other. So let's we put those in there, but let me put them down here. Behind the other trucks. You want to put them in the order of importance. And the game will prioritize whatever is at the top. Some mods don't care, but some, like the traffic ones or the Yara mod, which was the overlay thing for the top of that would care. So now we can go in. It needs to reload. Oops. And hopefully it doesn't crash the game because it's broken. That'll add another truck in here. That's not a super realistic truck because the K200 was never sold in the United States, as far as I know. So Kenworth mod. Huh? Oh, I hit. There it is. Unfortunately, this truck is also not very moddable, like in the game. There's not a lot of things you can do to it, engine-wise or whatever. Basically, it's a newer version of that K100 with a much more newer interior to it. It's an automatic transmission in this case. It still has a hump. You know that really didn't change. They just sort of modernized the truck a bit. There's a few different interiors you can pick: black, gray, blue, white, red. It's not really but on the engine side, there's only what came in this mod. You can't add anything else. So there's Cummins ISX. There's a 44 series, a Cat C15. There's some big engine stuff like that you can put in it. There's a few different choices. It's interesting. There's that one. Left-hand drive. Okay, that gives you a little bit of a pop-up roof. Longer. Shortened. That's interesting. So that's a taller. Oh, it's just a air dam on top. And then the full sleeper with the air dam on top. So you can do that. And then on the chassis, you can do longer, twin, which gives you 2 steers. That's a steer tire, not a drive tire. It's not a drop axle. It actually steers with the front. You can go twin long or tri axle, which is pretty cool. We already looked at the engines. Same with the transmissions. There's not, I don't think, yeah, it's just, there's no, that Eaton Fuller pack is not in here. So you're limited as to what transmissions you can pick. There's some interesting colors, different companies that were available. Those are kind of cool to look through. And then the interior I already showed you. So interesting. It had a manual automatic transmission before. I'm almost positive. Yes, let's do that. Let's go back in and look real quick. I'm almost positive that it had a okay. So what transmission? Ultra Shift Plus. Huh, interesting. So that's it on that. And then let's, I don't think there were any other, we already looked at that one. So Peterbilt. Again, I don't know why that shows up in the Peterbilt one. So, all right, guys, that'll be it. I blabbed enough, and maybe I shouldn't have showed you those trucks. But that'll give you a preview of what we're going to build. And let me know if you guys have a preference on which one. That's interesting. I don't remember that big. That's the turn signal. For some reason, I didn't remember that big bulb right there. All right, guys, that'll be it. You guys have a good one. Hope you enjoyed it. Signing off.